God bless you, everybody, and I'm so glad that all of you are joining me during this journey with this special series that is dedicated completely, totally to our Lord Jesus Christ, who ever lives to make intercession for all of us. And today I'm going to speak on that prayer is an act of sacrifice. And when I say that prayer is an act of sacrifice, it's simply because all of us, we live in a busy world. We are occupied and we are preoccupied. Everybody has a busy schedule. And there are so many things to take care of. Appointments and our work commitments, our family commitments, and also our church commitments. But amidst all that, I want to say to you, now that you are in isolation and in a lockdown, even right there in your home, I'm sure all of you are busy doing something and it's keeping you preoccupied. But do you know that when you take a retreat break, that means you take time off and you decide that you just want to spend some time with God? I want you to look at that time that you spend with God as intimacy with the Father. And but it's also at the same time, it's a sacrifice that you make because of the busyness of life. It's good to look at prayer in the light of intimacy with the Father. And I like that. And that is why I want to say to you that is how I developed my prayer life, because I made prayer as an intimacy with the Father. And do you know what happens in that intimacy with the Father? Very soon I find myself literally lying on the bosom of the Father. And through that intimacy, surprisingly, I arise from my time of prayer. And I've got to know the heartbeat of God. And more often than not, when you lie by the bosom of the Father, and when you hear his heartbeat, you will be surprised. His heartbeat is for the nations of the world. His heartbeat is even for our nation, South Africa. Our country and the nations of the world is on the heart of God. So we make that sacrifice in the light of the sacrifice that he made. That is how you must treat everything. When you worship, when you praise, when you honor God, when you magnify God, whatever it is that you do unto God, you must do it in the light that it's a sacrifice, but you're doing it in the light of his sacrifice for us and also for the nations of the world. I have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful psalm to read today. Wow. Psalms 33, verse number 12 to verse number 14. It says, "Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord." That's right. Somebody said amen. I heard you. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, and the people whom he had chosen for his own inheritance. Just think about that. An entire nation making God their God. And an entire nation becomes the inheritance of our God. Verse 13, "The Lord looks from heaven. He beholds the sons of men." And it says in verse 14, "From the place of his habitation, he looks upon all the inhabitants of the earth." Do you think right now that God doesn't know what is happening in the world, doesn't know what is happening in our country? I want to assure you, God knows everything, and he is a sovereign God. But you know what he's looking for? He's looking for you. He's looking for me. He's looking for all of us, so that we will enter into partnership with him. And how do we enter into partnership? We enter into partnership by making a sacrifice. How do we make sacrifice? By entering into our closet as a retreat and intimacy with the Father, to hear his heartbeat. And my prayer is today that all of us in the busyness of today, let us take time off to pray. for the nations of the world. May God bless you.